Hey everyone, what is going on? So we are doing more Kingdom Cup battles, and for this battle we are beginning with Alteria. He actually begins with Aggron, so a pretty neat Pokemon, right? Switching into not Alteria, Lucario, excuse me. He switches into Alteria, so unfortunately we do have to switch first. Gonna go ahead and block this Sky Attack coming my way. Going to charge up some energy, trying to bluff him out with the Power Up Punch, and it actually does work, so we do take his shield, and we are able to get another Power Up Punch. Wouldn't have been worth it for me to go with Shadow Ball, because I knew I could have gotten 2 Power Up Punches off anyway. So right now I'm bringing in Charizard. Gonna go ahead and block this just to keep my Charizard healthy. We knock out Lucario, and he brings in his final Pokemon, which is Aggron. Heavy Slam, I guess doing a decent amount of damage, but nothing too crazy for us. We're going to get off that Dragon Claw, and I have back-to-back Dragon Claws, and that is just going to be able to knock him out just fine. He still had a shield, but I think he figured, well, he lost anyway, so why, block and whatnot. So we do go ahead and take that game. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump into another battle. This time, I am beginning with Alteria. He does begin with Steelix, so not really a favorable matchup for me. Going to switch first into that Lucario. Activating Shadow Ball, hoping he would think I'm trying to bluff him out. Doesn't work, he doesn't fall for it, unfortunately, so we lose Lucario immediately. Bringing in Alteria this time around, he does use Blast Burn. That's going to do a hefty amount of damage, nothing too crazy, but a decent amount. And getting off that Sky Attack, but he does forfeit his last shield. So the thing we have going for us right now is he's out of shields. Not a super great position, but at least he's out of shields, right? And we still have a shield left. He's going to get off that Crunch. We're going to go ahead and block that. Switching into Charizard right now. And he gets off that Crunch. Doing, again, a good amount of damage because Charizard's really not bulky. We're going to finish him off without using any moves. And now we have a Blast Burn to knock out Charizard. And my girlfriend actually was calling me at this time, so kind of cut off, but I filmed the end of it. So we do go ahead and knock out his Lucario with Blast Burn and take that game. So despite having a poor lead, we do actually win that game. But yeah, leads definitely matter. I mean, they matter in general, right? I mean, they matter, like, whether you're playing regular, great, ultra, master leagues, or if you're just doing specific cups. But especially for the Kingdom Cup, I've noticed that the lead matchup is very important. I mean, of course, you can win if you lead bad, and you could also lose if you lead good. It does also depend what you have in the back. But, like, if you switch out, if you lead bad and you switch out, they're going to have an option to switch out immediately and basically get a free knockout on whatever happens to be. So, because you're not allowed to switch out again afterwards, so you never want to switch first. I know you guys know that, but, unfortunately, sometimes there's really no way around it, right? Yeah, I mean, excuse me. Excuse me, a little bit tired. I was just exercising, but no, but anyway, yeah, usually you don't want to lead bad, you want to lead good. So generally speaking, you tend to want to lead with Pokemon that really don't have a lot of counters to them. Alteria is a good one. It all depends on what your opponent has. I mean, you can check out that team. If they have an ice user like Alolan Ninetales or even Frostlass, Alteria might not be super great, but I've noticed that like Alteria and even Flygon are pretty decent leads because, I mean, they counter or they're not weak to anything in the meta for the most part. Bastiodon obviously beats Alteria, so if you're leading with something like Alteria and they lead with Bastiodon, you're not really going to fare well, and you're probably going to have to switch out first. But generally speaking, I don't see many people leading with Bastiodon. I don't think it's a great lead. I've led with it a few times, but if they lead with something to counter it, like Flygon, which is a pretty good lead, then you're basically going to have to switch, and then they could switch, into something that's going to counter that. So, yeah, you definitely want to lead the best that you can lead, but I know, of course, there's nothing that's going to guarantee that you're going to lead well. You could try to predict what your opponent is going to lead with, and that's always a good way to go, but not always going to work out. Like right now he leads with Lucario, I lead with Alteria, so really good lead for me. So right off the bat I have the advantage. He did farm up some energy. Because he switched into Steelix, I'm allowed to immediately switch into Lucario, or even Charizard would have been a good switch. And we do get off that Power Up Punch. And I knew he would have blocked that. I figured he would have blocked that Power Punch, which is totally cool. I tried to actually knock him out without using another Power Punch. We're going to have to use another shield, but again, we basically got a free KO. It did cost us some shields, but totally worth it for us, in my opinion, because we're in a really good position now because we knocked out Steelix. and we do a lot of damage to this Altaria. Despite Altaria being good against Lucario, we still do a lot of damage to it, even those power-up punch moves, right? You're doing a lot of damage to it, and now we could bring in Altaria. He's going to get off a Dragon Pulse, sure, does a lot of damage, but we are ready to go. We have our moves charged up, getting off that Sky Attack, doing a lot of damage to Lucario, and we're actually able to finish it off. We both finish each other off, but we do take the win because we had another Pokemon in the back, which I believe, what was it? It was Charizard, right? So Charizard obviously would have been able to knock out Lucario. But again, leading with Altaria, he leads with Lucario. So he does charge up some energy, but again, this is good for us. He switches into what he has in the back, which is going to be that Altaria. But again, not really a big deal for us. We're going to keep Altaria healthy. We're not going to switch out because, you know, Altaria is good against Altaria, right? So we're able to knock him out. Plus, we also did a good amount of damage to Lucario, and we're able to burn a shield right now with Charizard. So that's why leading better is important. You know, getting that good lead up is definitely important, right? But right now, we bring in Charizard against his Charizard, and we're going to try to knock him out without using any charge moves, which is what happens. He actually gets off his charge move first, which is Shadow Ball. But well, I thought we would survive that. No, we're actually not able to survive it, but that's okay because we had a healthy Lucario in the back, and we do go ahead and take that win. So we're switching opponents to a good friend of mine, Jetfire. He begins with Charizard, I begin with Altaria. So again, a good matchup for me. I mean, Charizard does have Dragon Claw, so it's not the worst matchup in the world. You know, Charizard can definitely do some work, but Altaria is just doing a lot of damage with that Dragon Breath, plus Sky Attack is doing a lot of damage. He brings in Flygon. We're going to block this because Altaria is definitely helping us out against this Flygon. We do get off a Sky Attack, and we're able to knock out his Flygon. I was a little surprised he didn't use his shield there, but I guess he wanted to save it for Lucario. It seems like that's what a lot of people want to do, right? We want to save it for Lucario. Getting off the Sky Attack. By the way, guys, if you notice, I've been getting 3 rings on all my battles and all my matches in this video and last video. I've definitely gotten a lot better. Thanks to you guys. Thank you so much. You've definitely helped me out. You definitely taught me how to get the 3 rings. And, you know, it took some time. I don't get them all the time, you know, but I do get them quite a bit now. So we'll see if that holds up. But definitely thank you so much, guys. But, yeah, so we're going to jump into yet another battle. He begins with his Celio. So not a good lead for me. He switches into Charizard. So now, not really looking too good for me because, as I said, you want to lead as best as you can. So, unfortunately, Charizard's getting a good amount of damage off on me. He does go ahead and activate his Blast Burn, I guess because he was afraid I would have knocked out his Charizard, which, you know, I totally understand where he's coming from. We bring in Lapras, able to knock out his Charizard with that and blocking that Power-Up Punch, getting off a Surf right now. And he's going to go ahead and block that because, you know, you want to save Lucario, right? Getting off a Dragon Claw right now against his Lucario, forcing the shield. He does use the shield. He switches into his Celio. Gonna go ahead and block that Body Slam because it would have knocked us out, and I knew we would be able to get off a Dragon Claw. So, doing a good amount of damage, not enough to knock it out. We bring in Lapras right now. He gets off his Body Slam, almost knocking me out, but we barely knock him out. Can I get this as Surf? I do get to the Surf. We're actually able to clean up the game, so we just won. So very close match, and good game. Good game. But, yeah, I mean, we won that despite having a poor lead matchup, but it was very close. So if you do win the poor lead matchups, it's probably going to be very close, right? So another lead matchup that's not really in our favor. I mean, he does have Water Gun instead of Ice Shot. Well, not Ice Shot, Powder Snow, I think it has, right? But it's still doing a lot of damage because Flygon is neutral to it, being part ground. But yeah, so hitting Body Slam, doing a good amount of damage to us. I'm like, I can get off one more Dragon Claw, right? I could have, I guess, if I blocked that, but I decided not to. I decided to let it go through. Bringing in Lucario right now, so now he has a switch advantage, so I'm going to have to switch out immediately. He switches into Lucario. Afterwards, he's like, that was a bad mistake. I just immediately switched upon seeing that you switched without even seeing who you switched into. So he switches into Lucario, which definitely, guys, that definitely helped us win the match, right? That was definitely, not a good switch, but he even acknowledged that, and that's okay, you know. We all make those rash decisions because you do have to play fast, right? It's not like the main games where you take a turn and then your opponent takes a turn and so on and so forth, and you have time to think about it. This, you do have to be fast, so I could totally see people, even if you're really that good, making mistakes. You guys have no that you guys know that I make mistakes, right? So it happens, but anyway, we do go ahead and pick up that game, and that's gonna be it for this video, guys. See you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching my latest video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter. If you like this video, click on one of the links to check out another one of my videos that you'll probably enjoy.